Happy New Year, everybody! It is officially January 1st, 2021. So 2020 is behind us now. I felt like 2020 was a very challenging year, but it was also a very rewarding year. I graduated CRNA school in 2020, started my first CRNA job. Of course, we had the pandemic, we had the social distancing. Jon and I had to cancel a few international trips, but we are healthy, we are happy. We have B, she is healthy, she is happy. And overall, it was a good year. A hard year, but a good one. I know for a lot of people, it was a life-changing year. For the world, it was a world-changing year. So I'm really interested to see what 2021 brings us, and hopefully we can put the pandemic behind us this year, or at least move forward in our fight against it. That being said, let's get right into talking about my 2021 goals or resolutions. I prefer to call them goals because I just feel like it sounds more like solid, more concrete. And I know a lot of people don't like resolutions or think they're like kind of silly, but I feel like the new year is a great time to just kind of reflect upon what you've been doing and think about what you want to change or what you want to get better at or what you want to let go. So I'm really into resolutions and goals. My first goal for 2021 is the most important one to me, and that is to spend more quality family time with Jon and B. I feel like in 2020 we were so busy running around with work, the houses, my CRNA boards, finishing school, starting my new job. It was just a very busy year, and I feel like we did spend time together as a family a lot because of social distancing, but I feel like a lot of times Jon and I are working or taking turns working, so one of us can spend time with B. But we want to spend more time together, all three of us. That's the most important thing. If I learned anything in 2020, it's that you cannot get back your time. So it's very important to spend that wisely. And for us, the most important thing to do with our time is to spend it together. Typically, we take a few family trips during the year, and that's when we really shut down, turn everything off, and relax together. But because of 2020, we canceled all of our trips. We were going to go to New Zealand, we were going to go to the Caribbean, we were going to go to Africa. We canceled all those trips, obviously. So we didn't do anything like that in 2020, and I feel like we kind of just used that as an excuse to just work and not take vacation time at all. But in 2021, we're going to change that. Goal number 2 for me is very important as well, and it's something I'm very passionate about, and that is living a more sustainable lifestyle. I feel like this is my goal every year, but you can always improve on your sustainability and how you live. So that is going to be my goal again in 2021. As you know, we moved into a new townhouse this year, and we're trying to renovate it the most sustainable way we can. Originally, we were going to like rip everything out and completely redo it, but then we decided that we thought that was wasteful. So we painted the cabinets, we're saving the hardwoods, we're keeping everything that we can. That's just one example. Another example is we're gonna try not to buy anything new. We're gonna try to buy things used. Obviously, there's some things we might not be able to get used, but as much as we can, we're gonna buy used. And then we're also gonna try and buy products that are eco-friendly or recycled when we have to buy something new. Speaking of recycling, another thing we're gonna do is start sorting our recycling more strictly and bringing it to the recycle place every week, because we don't have recycle pickup at our house. So it's super easy to just let everything pile up and not recycle it. But this year we are going to be recycling, we're going to sort all our bins, and we're going to be dropping that off. And the last thing I thought about in this category is buying more sustainably. So I'm talking about food, and I'm talking about trying to buy more things in bulk instead of in individual packets, because buying them in bulk allows you to sort them yourself into reusable containers. Now, where we live in Charleston, West Virginia, there's not a lot of stores where you can buy stuff in bulk. There's a few. I'm talking about like big containers of flour, rice, all that stuff. So there are some, so we're gonna try and buy like beans and things like that at those stores. But then I'm talking about things such as oatmeal, snacks, things that you just buy and pack in your lunches. We're gonna try and either make those or buy them in big containers and sort them out. It might be a little bit more time consuming at first, but I definitely think it's worth it because I feel like we waste so much wrappers in the trash every week. Goal number 3 for me is to give more, whether that be time or money, to give back to the world more, to contribute more to the community. So some ideas I have are, we'll keep fostering dogs, of course. We have Luna right now, and last year we didn't really get to foster a lot of dogs because we lived in a second floor apartment and had some noise complaints below us. But now that we're in our townhouse, we can help a lot more with the dogs. In 2020, we wanted to volunteer at the teenager shelter here because it's really hard to place teenagers into foster care, and we cannot take another foster child right now, but we still want to help. So we planned to volunteer there. We weren't able to because of the pandemic, nobody's allowed in. So we're hoping in 2021 we can get more into that and get more involved. Also, another way that I want to help is by planting things. I know it might sound silly, but I feel like planting trees, plants, things like that is so helpful. Now I have like a little mini yard outside, and you can't ever go wrong with planting things and helping the environment, unless of course it's like an invasive species, but I'll try and research that first. Also, last year I wanted to go on a nursing mission trip, so like a medical mission, and I was not able to do that, so maybe that is something I could do in 2021, but it is something that I definitely want to do. I feel like there's so many ways you can give that don't have to be monetary. So for people who are wanting to give but feel like they can't afford to give, your time is very valuable, very important, and very meaningful. So if you can give some time, you can really make an impact on your community. Now on to my fourth goal, and this is very important to me, and that is to spend less meaningless time on social media, scrolling, looking at pictures, just like stalking and creeping. I feel like it's so easy for me to get stuck in just scrolling and looking at stuff and looking at people's accounts and doing comparing, especially on Instagram. So this year I want to do less of that. I want to use social media meaningfully and mindfully, use it to communicate with our community and use it in positive ways, not in mindless ways. So what I did was I put the apps on the third page on my phone, so that when I have to go to them, I really have to think about why I'm going to them. Am I just going to this app because I'm bored and I just want to scroll through it? Or am I going through it to make a post or answer comments or talk to people and do something meaningful? So that's something I'm really going to work on in 2021, because I hate getting stuck in the scrolling trap, and then 30 minutes is over. You just use 30 minutes of your life looking at other people, and the stuff you're looking at is usually curated most of the time, so it's like made for people to look at. Really meaningless is the word that I keep going with here, and I'm hoping to stop that. I feel like I've been thinking extra about how I use social media since I watched The Social Dilemma, because that was a very enlightening movie and some stuff I didn't think of before, because I always think like, oh, I never buy stuff off ads, so who really cares? It's not like they're getting my money from me. But then when I realized that they're getting you trapped on looking through there, I was like, that was definitely like a light bulb on moment, because I thought the whole point was to get you to buy something, and it's not. It's to get you to scroll. And goal number 5 is more of a long-term goal, and it's for us to figure out what we want long-term, Jon and I, and for baby B. So we know we don't want to stay in Charleston, West Virginia forever. We know that we want to travel more, which is not completely in our control. So we just really need to figure out what we want, what's important to us, maybe put some timelines on us. We want B to grow up in another culture, in another country at some point. It's kind of hard to do that right now with everything that's going on, but we'd love for her to live in a Spanish-speaking country with us, of course, and go to school there for a little while. So we're working on figuring that plan out for ourselves. And really, we just kind of need to like mind dump, write everything down, maybe make some vision boards. We've never done that before, but I've seen them and they look really interesting. And just figure out what we want. It's okay to not know what you want, but always be thinking about what you want. I feel like we've been really indecisive this year because everything has been up in the air. In 2021, we should be adopting B, so we'll have more freedom to take her and do what we want. And it's just gonna be a great time, freedom, figuring out what we want, and spending all our time with Sweet Girl. All right, guys, that wraps up my 5 New Year's goals or resolutions, whatever you prefer to call them. I hope that you guys enjoyed it. Let me know what your goals are below, because I love hearing what other people are excited about. And I feel like the new year is just such a great time to just figure out what you want and what direction you're headed, and think about what you want to change. So, as always, thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe. I would really appreciate that. It helps my channel very much. As always, I hope you guys have an amazing week. Happy New Year, and I will see you next week.